Thank you very much
Okay.
for your nice presentation, Vania, and thank you for inviting me to speak. So we'll talk about some of the recent use of our archive of stratigraphic session. So the archive of stratigraphic section in ICR exists since 1953. It was strongly wanted by Cesare Brandi, that was at the time our director. It was the time of the cleaning controversy, the famous decades-long debate in art conservation about how to properly clean a painting surface. When should the restorer stop to remove, not to remove ancient varnish? So this, what is for us obvious, so to prepare a cross-section was not at the time, it was a novelty, and it was a way to see actually what the restorer was doing. So we store now in our archive almost 9,000 cross-section. The first one is this one from the deposizione by Beato Angelico, a sample taken in 1950 and archived a few years later. As you can see, the ancient, the old cross-section, they were documented by microscope, only analogic documentation. We have the diapo, which have been yellowed, of course, by the time. And in order to have a nicer picture, a drop of Canada bone was put and a microscope slide. And now both the embedding resin and the Canada bone have been yellow. So in order to make an analysis now, we have to remove both the Canada balm and the glass. And some of the cross-section, the most damaged by aging in the 90s during the direction of Michele Cortaro, have been restored. That means that the sample has been removed from the bedding resin, re-embedded, re-polished. You can see now the newly embedded resin. And unfortunately, some of the samples were lost in this operation. So why is it important to study and to analyze the ancient cross-section? They preserve the original paint layer by the master chief, but not only this, also the not original layers which have been removed in conservation intervention. Normally, they used to take samples before the intervention. So we have information also about the conservation history of the object. So I want to talk to you about some of 3 case studies in which we reanalyze ancient cross-section from Raffaello Sanzio artworks, the Stendardo della Santissima Trinità, la Deposizione, e la Madonna della Gatta. They have been all restored in recent time. So let's start with the Stendardo della Santissima Trinità. It's a double-size oil painting on canvas, preserved in the Pinacoteca Comunale di Città di Castello. It's composed of 2 paintings, La Creazione and La Trinità, and it was painted when Raffaello was only 16 years old. It has been submitted by several conservation intervention by ICR. The first one is in the 50s, and the last one is this year. This is a picture of how it is the Stendardo after conservation intervention. You can see that being a Stendardo, it was submitted to, we have much areas of the paint layer were lost and have been covered in the past by a colored layer. So what led the last intervention? It restored the work's legibility and led to the unexpected discovery of the preparatory drawing traced directly onto the canvas by Raphael. It was covered by this colored layer. Lo Stendardo della Trinità has come back recently from, it was transferred at the end of March in New York, and it was exposed in the Raphael Subin Poetry exhibition at the Metropolitan Museum of New York, curated by Carmen Bambach. So what we did, it was for us absolutely forbidden to take any sample. So we perform all the non-invasive analysis to complete the diagnostic information, the information about painting material already performed, because this Stendardo was submitted to several diagnostic campaigns. So we tried to do what was not done before. So we did 16 area of macro XRF mapping, 6 on La Trinità and 10 on La Creazione. Here just to show you an example, this is the face of Adamo in La Creazione, where you can see the map of lead, which gives us where the original paint layer was still present. It's nice to see, for example, in a map of iron, you can see the paint drops to depict the hair
bonjour,
of
Cecilia Matriucci de la coopérative Mises Franco.
Sorry.
Oui, bonjour, je me permets de vous déranger.
I heard the voice. It's okay.
No, you can go ahead, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Marcella.
Okay. And you can see the paint brushes in Adamo's hair, and also it's nice to see in the tin map. You can see, okay, the use of iron-based pigment and lead and tin yellow, and also the map of Mercury. You can see the lips, the eyelid, the pink tone of the flesh, and also in the reddish beard we can see the mixed use of cinnabar and lead and tin yellow. I go fast here. This is the face of San Sebastiano in La Trinità, where we can see, for example, in this red dress, we can see both the presence of mercury, so the cinnabar, but also the presence of potassium and manganese is showing us the employed of a red lake. I skip and I go. Okay, we took also some areas, a mapping area and a spot analysis on the drawing areas where we didn't find evidence of any mineral, any element related to a pigment. So we concluded that we have a carbon-based ink or organic ink. But I go to the use of our stratigraphic session. So we looked in our archive and we found 6 cross-sections. 4 were taken in the 50s restoration. Unfortunately, 1 was lost during this restoration of the cross-section, and 2 cross-sections in the intervention of 2006 on the La Creazione. So these are recent results. So until now we did SEM-EDS analysis and micro-Raman analysis, but it's not finished what we can do with this cross-section. Here, for example, a sample taken from La Creazione, from the Cangianti dress of the angel. This is the image from the Diapo on the 50, and this is the image of the cross-section after removing of the Canada balm and the microscope glass, that probably the Canada balm has absorbed, dissolved the pigment. What is the evidence? So what did we found in this cross-section? We have an imprimitura containing lead and tin. So we have a lead white and lead and tin yellow, as well as some particles containing silicon, oxygen, sodium, and manganese related to grinded glass. Then we have the first layer, which was okay, this color now is discolored, containing iron pigment. Raman determined the presence of red ochre, hematite, and lead white and copper resinate. We have copper resinate in both layers. We don't have malachite, but copper resinate. This is another cross-section taken in 2005 from the sky in an area near the frame. So we have also the gold. And we have the imprimatura layer containing lead white, lead and tin yellow, and grinded glass. We have the first blue layer containing copper, containing azurite, detected by Raman. And the second layer containing lead white and lapislazuli, also detected by Raman and by XRF. This is another cross-section from the sky. Here we have just, we don't have lapislazuli. We have 2 layers of copper-containing pigment. The Raman analysis, the SEM analysis confirmed the presence of grinded glass. We see the element related to glass, so silicon, oxygen, sodium, manganese, so on. And I want to show you here in this blue layers. We can see the evidence of azurite. We see the evidence of copper, as well as we have a lot of silicon. So we perform also VIL analysis. We have seen some luminescence, and we have seen also luminescence in the macro on the Standardo. And so we were so excited. We thought, oh, maybe it can have been used the Egyptian blue. Actually, unfortunately, we really wanted to see Egyptian blue in this painting. It should have been a big discovery, because this is 1499, so much before the documented use of Egyptian blue. We have the use of azurite mixed with quartz, so probably it was an adulterated azurite employed by the young Raffaello. Here we have another, we have the deposition, also the deposition, the famous oil painting by Raffaello. It's a painting on panel, preserved in the Galleria Borghese of Roma. It was submitted to several restoration interventions in the past, and in 2020, the year of Raffaello, also the year of COVID, has been submitted to restoration intervention, and the artograph has been submitted to several diagnostic campaigns. And in 2020, we reanalyze the cross-section which have been collected in ICR during the restoration intervention of 66-72, where 24 cross-sections were sampled, and they were not submitted to SEM-ADS analysis, only to optical microscope analysis, and you can see some of the sections are red in the preparatory layer, because the test for the protein with the SHIP reagent was performed, detecting the presence of protein in the preparatory layer. So in 2020, we analyzed 14 of the cross-section, and 3 of these cross-sections were submitted also to Raman analysis. So what did we find? We have, regarding the preparatory layer, we have 2 layers of gypsum, gesso grosso and gesso fino, containing impurities of strontium sulfate, celestine. This is a cross-section from the green. We had a lot of samples taken in the past from the green. Unfortunately, not sample in the red areas that we would have wanted to analyze. Here we can see the preparatory layer, the imprimatura, also in this case containing lead and tin and grinded glass, so lead white, lead and tin yellow. And this here we can see different layers of green. We have the original layers by Raphael, these layers D3, D2, D1 until C. This contains a copper-based green consisting of malachite. Oh no, sorry, this is where the other one. The overlying layer containing malachite strongly diluted in the binder. We have much more carbon than the previous layer, and 2 layers of restoration green pigment containing copper resinate of different type. We deepen the information of the copper resinate. Sorry, I'm making a mixture. Okay, this is the picture I wanted to describe before. These are the much diluted in oil malachite layers, and this is the less diluted in oil copper malachite layer. Raman analysis allowed to determine the presence of malachite as well as impurities of azurite in malachite. Regarding the overlying layer, these 2 overlying layers, these have been applied in different ages. The first overlying layer containing copper resinated mixed with lead and tin yellow. The second copper resinate layer containing lead white, not lead and tin yellow, but calcium carbonate. Raman analysis allowed the detection, the distinction of copper resinate in both layers. Here we have another paint cross-section taken from the Cangianti dress of the woman holding the Virgin. Here we can see 2 layers of blue. You see also from the microscope image, the greenish one with the greenish tone is based on azurite. The second one contains lapis lazuli. What interested us also to see the impurities of the minor component pigment. We have seen evidence of iron occurs, lead oxides, as well as of lake. Okay, here have we some Raman analysis. Ok, che è successo? Okay, sorry. So we had evidence by Raman of ultramarine blue in the second layer and azurite in the first layer, as well of hematite, maghemite, and CERS analysis was performed in order to have information about the lake, and we have seen anthraquinone-based signals, which could be related to as well to kermetic acid, also to some mother lakes. So we wanted to deepen the information about lakes, and in collaboration with Synchrotron Soleil, some analysis was performed. Synchrotron radiation reflection stir mapping, optical photothermal infrared spectroscopy mapping. I'll show you only the second type of analysis results, in which we could actually prove the presence of Kermes Lake in this red lake containing particles. The last case studies is the Madonna col Bambino e Sant'Anna, also called the Madonna della Gatta, which is a Giulio Romano painting, but Giulio Romano is one of the Raffaello pupils, is the most talented and gifted pupil, which painted this Madonna della Gatta, but during the recent restoration, this also was restored by Angela Cerasuolo in the years of Raffaello, and during this most recent restoration, a softer, more harmonious pictorial layer emerged beneath the visible painted surface, revealing the hand of Raffaello also in this case. Raffaello died in 1520, so during the realization of this painting. La Madonna della Gatta suffered from a very instability of the paint layers. And also in this case, Angela Cerasuolo called me and say, "Oh, I have seen that you have the Madonna della Gatta was restored in the 80s by Ioele. We come to see how many cross section we have. We have 7 cross section. I showed the picture of 7. And so I removed the microscope slide, I removed the Canada band, and analyzed the section by semi-DS and also by microptyr. So I show you some of the results. Here from the semi-DS image, you can see the instability, many crackles we have in the paint layer, so the fragility is documented. Of course, this section were taken in 1981, before the restoration intervention. So we have the situation of before, at the time in the 80s. What we can see, we have here an imprimatura layer, a red lake layer, a layer of lead-tin yellow and lead white, as well of copper-containing pigment, which was recognized as copper resinate, and a layer of copper resinate, lead white and lead and tin yellow. This is another cross-section. We have a lot of paint layers. The imprimatura layer, here with the same results. Over the imprimatura layer, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 layers. And we have as well red lake, azurite, red lake mixed with azurite, with lapislazzuli. Again, red lake and lead white, red lake and lapislazzuli, lead white and lapislazzuli layer. And also you can see the fragility of the paint layer, especially in the area where we don't have a red lake, which probably was stiffened by the presence of grinded glass. Of course, okay, I give you just some of the huge bibliography that we have about analysis of these 3 art crafts by Raffaello, and I thank you for the attention.